Here's how to rotoscope some film titles. First of all, you need to take a little bit of film of your handwriting for about, say, 8 seconds. Open the film in your Photoshop file. You'll find it on your desktop or somewhere. Open the movie itself into Photoshop and you'll notice it comes up on a timeline. You need to go to Layers and go to Video Layers and choose a new video layer to go, and it will appear next to your original file. You need to rename that video layer, and that will be your actual rotoscope layer. It's like a transparent layer that you actually write or draw on top of. You need to shift that layer above the video group layer and then move it across so that it matches the rest of the timeline using a move tool. You can change the size of your film by moving that little mountainscape slider at the bottom. You need to go to this button here next. I'm going to talk about it in the next box, but you can't see it in the next sequence. So make sure that you've found that small icon on the right-hand side of the screen. Press it. You're going to tick Enable Timeline Shortcut Keys. You're going to tick Enable Onion Skins, and you're going to tick Set Timeline Frame Rate. In the frame rate, your film will be 24 frames a second, not custom, and you're going to set your frame rate in the second box to 8 and press OK. That means you're drawing across every 8th image in your film timeline. Next, you're going to choose a brush tool. My menu on the brush tool was an opening right there. So I've just gone up to the top where I can already see I have a brush tool selected. Select that small pointy one on the left-hand side. You can increase or decrease the size by using the open and close bracket keys and the command button. Check that it's on 100%, that its opacity is on 100%, and select a color from the swatches that you would like to draw in. The color swatches panel also scrolls down using the slider at the side. So I've selected a color here, and I'm just going to make sure that I switch the color correctly over here. So use a little rocker switch, and I've also drawn in white already. I'm going to go Command Z and then Edit, step backwards to remove those last 2 steps. And I'm starting to actually what's called rotoscope, and making sure that the rotoscope layer is the selected layer that I am working on. If you don't work on the rotoscope layer, you'll end up drawing on your actual film, which doesn't work. So you want to be drawing on the clear, transparent rotoscope layer. So each time you draw, you're going to click the right-hand arrow key to move ahead. And you are going to follow over the onion skin and extend your drawing a little further each time. Every time you finish drawing, click on the right-hand arrow key and your frames will advance forward by 8 frames, and you draw again. Please make sure that you are on the rotoscope layer at all times. It takes a long time to draw each frame, and you're only advancing the frame by a very short amount. Notice that I've only done less than a second's worth of film, even though I might have advanced the frames probably 8 times already. So just make sure that you realize that at the top of the slider key on the timeline there, where the arrow and the red line is, that's showing you how many seconds of film you have actually made using your rotoscoping. In the next few frames, I will have advanced up to about 3 seconds worth of film. I've just chopped bits out of the sequences so that it doesn't take so long, because it does take quite a long time to rotoscope each frame. So when I get up to about 3 seconds, you'll see that I swap over and start to prepare to render the film out after 3 seconds, which is probably not enough time for a sequence to start your film or to be a heading for your film. So you'll need to make it at least double that time. Now I need to create a new layer, just not even a video layer, just a plain solid color new layer, preferably white, and from just the menu at the bottom of the layers palette. And with that layer I need to pull that layer underneath the rotoscope layer. Line it up with your film work. You can now trim all the other video layers right back to the section that you've done. If you need to fill that layer still, you need to use the paint bucket tool to fill it with a colour. You need to export your video layer, render the video. A dialog box will come up like this. You're going to rename your movie. You're going to create a QuickTime video. Make sure it's the same frame rate, 1920 by 1080, although you can do it a little smaller. And press OK. The film will begin to render. It will export, not that quickly, but I've speeded that up. And your rotoscoping will look something like that. I've just slowed it down so that you can see it. It looks a lot more jerky than it does in real life. The first one was the sequence as it was, so you probably need to do more than about 3 seconds. This is some film I did over the top of a film of someone moving so that you can see the potential of using rotoscoping. For this film here, I have not created another layer underneath the rotoscoping, and I didn't turn the visibility off the film. So those two layers, the original film layer and the rotoscoping layer, were rendered together, both visible. If you would like to make a film like this, you'll need to create a new layer above the original film as you did before, and you will need to make sure you're drawing on the rotoscope layer. Change the frame rate to 8 frames per second as before. Select your brush tool, draw on each frame, render the video forward by using the right hand arrow key. Continue to draw. At the end, when you're going to actually export your video, don't turn the visibility off any of the layers, and you don't need to create an additional layer to put underneath your rotoscope layer. So you have your film layer and your rotoscope layer, that's it, and you render them out together, and you'll create an animated layer above your film layer.